Sorry,
Cool.
Joe, yeah.
No, it's all good. Don't worry. Alrighty. Can you all see my screen?
Yep, I can see that. Okay.
Beautiful. I see we've had somebody else just join.
Yeah. Hi, Sydney. Hopefully you can hear us. We're just getting going. Joe from Gatherwell is going to be basically talking us through the lottery dashboard and how you can use it. And we are recording this session, so we can set the
Beautiful.
over to you, Joe. I'll manage anyone else that turns up.
Awesome. Thank you so much. But yeah, okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming along today. And also just thank you for signing up for the Wolverhampton Community Lottery. Hopefully, if you haven't already, you've managed to log into the dashboard, access some different bits and pieces there. There's a lot of information in there, not only just the marketing leaflets and material that we have, but also, some tips and tricks there, even though, for you, it's going to be largely, the bits and tricks that you've already done before. And then beyond that, it's just taking you through how to access, your supporting information and things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off and we're going to just take you through, accessing the dashboard and logging in, because a lot of the time people haven't even logged in. And so that's the main bit there that we want to sort of encourage people to do, actually access the dashboard. So largely if you're going through, and this is on like one of our test sites, so this is not necessarily live data, but what we can do is we can come in here, and what you do, if you go into the site for the first time, come up there and you'll see a login button, and basically once you log in, first thing you should be seeing is this little tile here that's called fundraiser. And as you can see, this is where you're going to access the dashboard of your cause. Being an admin of a cause, what you would see is you'd see supporting information here, like how to update your details. If you wanted to change, like your own details as an admin. But of course, the main thing here is you want to look at the fundraiser section here. So what you'll notice is there should be the name of your cause, and then just have a little button here that says dashboard. And it is a staging site, so maybe a tad slow, but we'll wait for that to load. Cool. Now, what you'll see here, pardon me, what you'll see here is you'll see different bits and pieces. The first thing here is just a nice, easy tile for you to be able to share your lottery via various means. When you click on this button, this is just going to be a link to your cause page, because in the grand scheme of things, as a cause on the lottery, you don't want to be linking directly to just Wolverhampton Community Lottery. You want to be driving people to your page. So, as an example, I come here. If I'm the user coming to the lottery website, there's going to be a bunch of different causes listed here, right? But you want them to support you. You don't want them to, for better or worse, find another cause along the way that may, they choose to support instead. So really what you want to do is you want to share the link to this page here. And this is where it has, your ticket target, your About Us section, why you're fundraising, and whether it's just in general in terms of the great work that you do as a good cause, or whether it's going for a particular outcome. So when we come back to here, this is the link that you'll have, so you can easily find it yourself. And then of course, there's little buttons here for you to share to a particular social media platform of your choice. We find obviously Facebook and Twitter quite handy, as we know, but we know for perhaps smaller community based or like focused good causes, maybe say like a pardon me, a football club or something like that, WhatsApp is normally a good choice for them when it comes to speaking to their members or the parents and things like that, within like that little community function that they do have available within WhatsApp currently. But also LinkedIn's quite good as well. So that's just like a nice easy little share panel here. And of course, you'll see this course page over time change as it becomes a bit easier to find bits and pieces, which is a project that we're working on. Nonetheless, what you'll see here is you're going to see a timeline of your tickets over weekly sort of intervals there. You can see that hopefully increase or decrease and then sort of see why and in terms of tracking that performance there. And then you have some little data points here in terms of, okay, how are we performing compared to yesterday, last week, and then last month. And so you do have little things here where you can go, how can I increase this? And this is just going to take you to your marketing help. So you can easily click the tile there in order to get there. As we know, a lot of these things, attaching leaflets to emails, notice boards, sharing your website links, a lot of that would have been done, right, in terms of the wider fundraising operations and activities that you do. But of course, it's just sort of reiterating that within the realm of Wolverhampton Community Lottery. Some other bits here that may be important for you in terms of talking internally at your good cause at the organisation is just looking at things like, okay, what's my ticket target and how are we tracking towards meeting that ticket target? Now, of course, that ticket target is basically we want to have, like, the ticket target here, as we can see, is 250. So this target would be, we want to have 250 active tickets. And then when we go back to this page, this is basically the forecast of what you're going to raise over a 12-month period based on you having that many active tickets. So this is a nice little encouragement for your potential supporters and obviously yourselves as well. And then down here, yeah, it's just a general sort of, nice little piece of information around your account, your support account, how many draws you've actually been in to date, and since joining Wolverhampton Community Lottery, and then you can see your funds raised to date as well. Now, when we click on this little button here in terms of how can I increase this, it's largely just going to take you to the marketing help page. But the main thing about marketing help is, yeah, great. How do you talk to people? You'd already hopefully be across a lot of that detail and those sort of strategies there. But the main thing that you want to see is when you come up here to your menu, or you do have some quick links here like leaflets and supporters. When I come into the menu, same thing for you to easily navigate through some things here. So why don't we go ahead and just look at leaflets. I want to show you the production side, or the side that is live, will be much faster. So I can let that concern you. And this is just an example of one of the leaflets that you'll find. There's quite a number of them here in terms of, you should have sort of support me. You got seasonal leaflets. You got the play now leaflet every single month, right? When we release that bonus prize. So I think the current bonus prize is of £1,000 Airbnb voucher. Just to encourage people to stay locally, without having like an environmental impact. But of course, if people do decide to use it in a more distant location, that's still going to be eligible to be used in that form as well. And so what we have here is we've got different sort of banners for Facebook and Twitter. Now, when I open this up in a new tab, it's not at the right size, so it's quite large. So if we were to reduce that, when it gets sort of compressed by Facebook, it's a much clearer image. But this is something that you could easily, add into the Play Now pay. Add into like a social media post. You can add into perhaps even like your email signatures, things like that. But of course, you'll have your own cause logo there, rather than it being the Wolverhampton Central Fund. So you can easily use these type of images for, as we know, the social media pages that you may be looking after. But of course, we find that these digital leaflets are quite the main sort of way in which a lot of good causes actually use to boost their fundraising. Now, there's a difference between the two as well, because we've got the digital leaflet and we've got the printable leaflet. So if we go into the digital leaflet, you can see here, you win up to £25,000. You've got your bullet 2, your bullet 3. Now, the beautiful thing about that is that within the digital leaflets, you do have a button here that will, if you put that in your e-newsletter or whatever it may be that you're sending out, even just in an email, that button's going to take them directly to your good cause page, right? So it is actually actionable. It's not just a static image. So we find it to be quite helpful. Now, why does it say bullet 2? Why does it say bullet 3? That doesn't make sense. Well, it does, because you can actually customize the information on your leaflets to basically reflect whatever you want to say. So if you find, okay, cool, maybe winning up to £25,000 or the 50% of all tickets sold from our page go to us, and you can put in whatever headline here that you want. If you find that you'd rather talk about, hey, we're raising money to refurbish part of the clubhouse, or to improve the change rooms, the ladies team at the football club, anything like that, you can put that into these dot points. So you don't have to use necessarily what is being generated automatically within the system. That gives you the ability to change it to whatever you see fit. Now, if I was to make changes and you click build, it may just take a couple of minutes, a minute or so for it to rebuild, regenerate, and that should reflect whatever the customizations that you've managed to put in there. So that's something that I think is pretty cool, because it doesn't tie you into everyone saying the same thing. You do have the ability to be different, which is also great. The main thing here is that will be edited and customized as you see fit. Pop it in your e-newsletter. And if they're obviously opening that on their computer or their smartphone, whatever it is, they can click on it. It's going to take them to your page. So that's the easiest way. But we also have the printable leaflets as well. And as I said, this is just the one version of Play Now. If you have a look at if you go into your dashboard and have a look at your Airbnb ones there, and that's all going to be different and a little bit more zhuzhed up. And so with the printable leaflets, you'll see there's a number of different things. And this is for handing out, of course, if you have events or things happening, or of course, if you have, just high traffic areas, or, in your offices or your community center, you can just print these out and post them all around the place for people to, once again, see what you may have customized there. But they also have the QR codes. And you should also have the QR codes in the list of these leaflets there. So if you were creating your own, material, right, because you don't have to rely on what we provide, what you'll be able to do is you'll actually be able to just grab the QR code that we've generated for you, and then just pop that into your own marketing material as you see fit. So that's one of the options there. Hey, welcome. In addition to just like the printable leaflets here, we also, if people are sort of, everyone should know how to use the QR code based on what we've all experienced over the past couple of years. But of course, you do have, this will actually say the proper, the website of the proper sort of, Wolverhampton Community Lottery.co.uk, and then they'll have a search term that should be relevant for your cause. But of course, we want to make it as easy as possible. So you got the QR code there. Then, as I just mentioned before, within the digital leaflet, you've got the button that is actually actionable. So with this, you got easy sort of share links as well to Facebook and Twitter. But of course, depending on how you're using it, you can easily just pop that into an email, newsletter, anywhere that you see fit. So largely, that's what an example of how the leaflets work. I mentioned, log into your dashboard, you go into your leaflets, you're going to see probably about 8 to 9 or so of them sitting there. So please go in and make use of them. Now, I did talk, when I was taking you through the sort of the main dashboard page, we did go into marketing help. So just rehash this really quickly. Just does sort of summarize a lot of what I'm saying into a nice, easy format, things you'd already be doing, but how to do it within the realm of your good cause on Wolverhampton Community Lottery. What I'm going to jump to now, and you can go through the quick links, but the menu has a lot of information here, which I'll touch on in a moment. If we go into supporters, what you'll be able to see is you'll be able to see people and their information who have supported you, which I think is quite important in terms of contacting these people and saying, thank you so much for supporting us on Wolverhampton Community Lottery. Would you like to actually opt in to the wider mailing list that comes from our organization? Because, largely you can do that in a creative way. there is stuff in the privacy policy that does say you are contacting them only about the lottery, because that's what they're opting into in terms of the lottery contact. But of course, if you just pop in information about what you're doing in the wider organization, pop in a link to subscribe to your mailing list. You may already be subscribed, by the way, but then you can obviously do that way. But what you'll see here is the name. Why is the email blank? Well, there's a number of reasons. Whether they've opted into being contacted or not will depend on whether their contact information will appear. So we can see it says opted out. Yes, so that's why I can't see the email. And then what you can see is when they've registered, and then basically when they started supporting you. It's very high level information. So if you want to see more information, you can download the extract. And I'll just bring it over here. And then you can see info like this. So as I said, bits and pieces here. How did they hear about the lottery overall? The sort of ticket count. What the ticket count means is obviously how many tickets they're playing a week. And you can see how many tickets and draws that they've actually supported you for. And so opted out of email, yep. No claim code. I guess claim codes can be related to because if you're not aware, there is the ability for people to actually buy tickets in the lottery supporting your good cause as a gift voucher. So if you're not aware of that, if you go down to the bottom, there's gift vouchers here. I'll talk about it in a moment because we are focusing on your good causes in your dashboard. It's a nice piece of functionality. You can actually include that in your comments going out saying, to your supporters, if you would like to, purchase a gift in the Wolverhampton Community Lottery supporting the good work that we do as a birthday or Christmas present, it's easily doable. And so what they do is when they come to the site, they just enter in the code. And pretty sure it is already supporting they can choose the good cause that they can support. So it's already going to be supporting you. So it's another little tool in the belt and a little tip and trick for you to keep in mind there. So as you can see, nice bit of support information here. And then I think possibly the good causes that sort of really taking the fundraising channel quite seriously is that you can then see when people have actually like the last ticket that they purchased. So if you did want to do, a campaign that's related to, okay, we have 50 or so supporters that were supporting us, they're no longer are, you can incorporate that and say, hey, look, we really appreciate the support that you've previously given us. Just so you know, we're actually starting to work on this particular project and would really appreciate and love it if you could, continue your support for us as an organization and the important work that we're doing within Wolverhampton. So there you go. That's how you access your supporter information. So just to summarize what we've covered so far, we got the dashboard, we got an easy share link to your good cause page here, and via the different social media platforms that you may be using. And the whole point, as I said at the top of this, is that you want to share your specific page rather than lottery, and that's the whole point of why you've signed up. You got your information here as well that you're able to track. You can see how it increases or decreases depending on what your supporters are doing. But we'll touch base on quickly. Based on this ticket sale that you have, it will then forecast what you're going to raise annually within the dashboard. You don't have to go to your actual course page to actually see that there. So that's the dashboard page. You got your leaflets. So you can go by menu. You got your quick link. Access all the different versions of it. Print, digital, banners for social media. And we've got our supporter information. Apart from that, you got your marketing help. As I mentioned, just basically summarizing a lot of what I'm talking about here, but it's easy for you to get back to, just if you want to be reminded, even though I'm sure you're all pretty capable. Now we're going to go into winners. And this is actually quite an important bit because not only is it good to contact your supporters, right? But it's also quite important to contact people who have won. And the reason why is because you can have that personal relationship with them and say, hey, thank you for supporting us. We're so glad that you've managed to win something, even if it's free tickets, because people can win free tickets. If it's obviously a monetary amount, that's probably going to make them even happier. But the reason why I would suggest to keep an eye on this is because you may say, hey, would you like to maybe give us a quote and say, hey, I love supporting this particular good cause on Wolverhampton Community Lottery, and I've even won £250 out of it. So as they sign up and buy and support, you or whoever it is. So it's a nice way to get a testimonial and to actually show people that people do win. I know there's a subset of people out there who do wonder whether the lotteries, whether people do actually win. So that's one thing I'd suggest to do. Whether or not it's just saying thank you, it is a nice way to turn it into a little marketing piece, I would suggest. So that's all in winners. And perhaps even if you wanted to, after you have your first year on the Wolverhampton Community Lottery, come to I think May next year when ticket sales went live, that'll be a year from there. Perhaps you want to get all your winners together, get a group photo, and then use that. So that's other bits and pieces that are good to think about. Now, one other thing that's probably more, probably a little bit more administrative than anything, is just sort of looking at basically the funds that you're receiving. If you want to report that internally and say, okay, let's compare the fundraising channels we've had, right? How have they performed? Yes, we're going through this small grant process. We're perhaps getting money from the National Lottery and whatnot, whatever it may be. Just gift aid, donations. This is a way for you then to also incorporate over a period of time the amount of funds you've actually received from the lottery there. And that's quite important for some in terms of in auditing, even though the overall auditing and administration of this is all run by WBCA. But it's a nice way for you just to be able to access that as well. Beyond that, I'm going to talk about other administrative things that's actually making sure that the cause information is up to date. And also what's really important is making sure that the administrator that's associated with the cause is up to date. Because a lot of the time, this is pretty normal. People are at an organization, they're handling a project, and then they move on, or they get another role, or whatever it may be. There's a new hire that's then handed, the lottery fundraising channel. So it's quite important that you actually keep this up to date. And so if you go into menu up in the top right, you'll see it says user admin. So my suggestion is always have multiple people added as admins that can manage your good cause page, right? It reduces bottlenecks if there's updates that need to be made. It provides a little bit more redundancy if there is a winner and somebody's on holiday and you want to get that snappy little testimonial out onto social media. That's the main bit there. So what you can do is you can always add a new here, and then you just pop in their email. Now, the main thing here is that they actually have to have an account set up on the lottery first. And that's just like a generic account, as if myself or you actually going to the lottery and wanting to play. And so as long as they have an account set up, you can just add in their email, and then they'll get an invitation that says, hey, you've been added as an admin to so-and-so good cause. So that's quite important, I'd suggest, because even in what if the event as well, like your bank account details have changed or they're entered in incorrectly, we actually want to make sure that you can receive the funds that you're fundraising as well. Anyway, I think you all get it, so I won't labor that point anymore. One other thing here is then also updating cause details. If there's a rebrand, a new logo, or you want to update what you're raising funds for. If it's for a particular thing, like I mentioned before, say the change rooms, for athletes or whatever that you want to upgrade. Let's just say you reach your fundraising goal. Now you want to add in the next sort of project that you're going to focus on. And this is how you do it. So you come in here and you can see sort of a nice little summary of the current information. And then you would come to edit details, and then you can change the name of your good cause. If there's a typo when it's first submitted, If you want to change the categories that you're associated with, your cause type, who you're servicing, it's a particular suburb or the whole entirety of Wolverhampton. Also your search term, because why the search term is important is that when it comes to that printable leaflet, as I showed you before, where it has the URL for the lottery and then your good cause, there are character limitations. So when we preview as a good cause, if it's too long, we sort of have to find the keywords that suit your cause best, so it will fit onto that printable leaflet. If you're not happy with the way that it's coming through, you'd like to change it yourselves, this is how you do it. Once again, also payment email CC as well. So when those the funds being paid to you get generated or accessed, if you'd like to add in perhaps your finance team from the good cause, that will just get CC'd into that email that comes through as well, which may be important, for some of the organizations here. Ticket target, once again, if you smash your fundraising goal and you want to change that target to make it higher, this is how we can go through and do it. So you can manage this all yourself. Of course, I want to make sure this is clear to everyone that's here now and who's going to be watching the recording. If you have any questions or any issues or trouble going through this type of information, get in contact with the support team, support@wolverhamptoncommunitylottery.co.uk. Give them a buzz. It's not just for players, it is for the good causes themselves, and also WVCA. So we're here to support you. We're open 9 to 5:30, Monday to Friday. So if you have any questions about anything to do with the lottery, we're here to support you. The whole idea of why we partner with WVCA is to make it as easy as possible for you as good causes to fundraise. So I didn't mean to submit those changes there, but I'll come back. Apart from that, this is where you'd update your bio, so the about us of the good cause. There is even some tips here. Pretty simple. As I mentioned, you've probably all been in the not-for-profit fundraising sector for a while, so you know what you're doing. But if there's anyone that's new to the team and they're handling this, and there's little tool tips, as we call them, built within the platform to help there. And then once you do that, you just submit the changes. As you saw that button before that said, cancel pending changes. Once that happens, they'll just come to my team at Gatherwell, and we just do a final review just to make sure there's not like any errors that may have been put in there. And if there is, we'll get in contact with you just to verify that this is what you meant to do. But apart from that, we're normally pretty quick getting that done. And so that is largely the main bit. Looking at the other sort of parts of the menu here, it looks like we've covered that all. So I know we're largely wanting to focus on ticket sales and how to market and things like that, but I think understanding how to actually manage your cause on the lottery and this lottery fundraising channel is quite important as well. So, as I mentioned, a bit of some few tips and tricks that have come through. Making sure you're using those leaflets and the sort of clickable button, actionable within the digital leaflet. You got your QR code that's in the leaflets page as well, so you could easily put that into your own material that you may be designing, and contacting your winners, using them for testimonials, and then looking at obviously your payments as well, so that you can report how much you've raised over a particular period of time. It's gone directly into your bank account. But apart from that, really just the quick shares to your social media channels that you can easily do, because the whole point and the main thing here is that, yeah, right, you got leaflets, you do all these things, but really, if you just put your good cause page out there and you say why you're fundraising, people are going to buy tickets. Any questions about the dashboard and maybe how payments work? Well, I'll answer my own question. The payments are going to get paid to you the first Tuesday of every month, or at least that's when they get approved. Obviously, with direct debits and things like that, they take a couple of days for them to sort of come through at the best of time. So that sort of approval process happens in the first Tuesday of every month. So the more tickets you sell, the more sort of regular income you're going to have from the lottery. We know it doesn't replace everything, but it is a way for you to possibly plan into the future in terms of, different projects or things that you might be doing, and fundraising events and whatnot. That is largely your dashboard.
Thanks for that, Joe. I think that was really, really helpful, really informative. And as you know, as someone who's also running a good course at a lottery, there's some stuff there that I hadn't spotted. So I certainly found that really useful. Has anybody got any questions for Joe or thoughts about stuff in the dashboard they're maybe not sure about? No, it's good. It sounds like everybody's going to be a dashboard expert before long. I've got a question actually. I just wanted to run past you, Joe.
Yep.
I've noticed looking at our supporter list for the community organisation that I volunteer at, we've probably got as many people who've signed up and then didn't buy a ticket as those that have signed up and have bought a ticket. And I don't know whether that's a common thing. And I just wonder if you've got any advice or tips on how we go about, obviously we can contact those people, but how we go about supporting those people in terms of finding out perhaps why they didn't buy a ticket even though they signed up, and where to signpost them.
Yeah, okay. I want to have a look into that because it's interesting that they're in that list. So it says that they have 0 tickets and draws today.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, most of them aren't opt out, so a few of them are, but a lot of them have opted in, so we can contact them. And they've signed up over the last month or so. So I think we've got 40 supporters and 19 haven't bought any tickets. Just seems a bit of a weird one. So
yeah, well, we do find that that's quite common. And we see it like across the board, whether it's actually supporters or even good causes, they get approved, they sign up, and then sort of nothing happens. And that's why we do these sort of sessions as big. And I do find a lot of the time with the cause side is that there'll be someone who is the admin that signs up, but then it does sort of get handed off to another person, which is pretty common. But yeah, we do find that, and it could be for a various number of reasons. It actually could be that it's taking time for the direct debit to process. So if it's a debit card, the payment is instant. But if it's a direct debit, it could be, they sign up, and with how the direct debit system works within the UK is that you can't collect payment within 10 business days of a direct debit being set up. And so it's going to go to then just the next day that we can sort of ask for that. There could be things like soft declines, so just like insufficient funds, bits and pieces like that. So I would say that's probably one of the main reasons. I'm going to take also that question on notice because my understanding is if they sign up but they haven't bought a ticket, they shouldn't be appearing, I guess, within your supporter list. So I'll look into that. But of course, keep an eye on them, right? Check in maybe 2-3 weeks or whatever it may be for whether then they start having tickets come into draws. I also believe that when it comes to if you were to download that extract, and you look at this, and so you look at this sort of count factors in to basically what your tickets will be. So even if the direct debit hasn't processed yet, the ticket hasn't been purchased, it will still record it on this page to sort of show growth in your fundraising. And this was also taken notice because then if you compare this to perhaps your support information that's actually still waiting for that direct debit to process, the data extract of your supporters maybe have a ticket count that's actually lower than what appears on this page, because it is sort of showing what you should be expecting to come through. And because the more support that the people in the public, when they look at your cause page see, the more they may be inclined to then go, oh yeah, well, like I'm gonna join in and support this organization. But of course, thanks for that. I will get back to you on that one just for peace of mind for everyone here.
No, that's great. Thank you. As I say, it is useful being able to contact those people because I think what we'll probably do is contact them and say, we noticed you signed up, you're having problems. If you need any help, contact the Gatherwell support email.
Definitely.
Lottery, and then hopefully you can assist that end as well. So
definitely, and that's a good point also at the end there, James, is that if you do have any supporters that are asking questions and whatnot, we don't necessarily expect you to be the person answering all those queries. Send them to the support email, and we'll make sure to help them as well. And depending on what you want to do, I know like possibly like the economic climate isn't as fortuitous for cost of, like, due to cost of living things and whatnot. But even as a good cause, if you're wanting to run a supporter campaign, in the sense of, if you have 2 tickets a week for 4 weeks or whatever it may be, you'll go into like a special little draw where you can win, an experience or a gift card or whatever that might be. If you want to, of course, there's no need to do that. But then contacting within your supporter list people who maybe have 1 ticket, saying to them, hey, just want to make sure thank you so much for your support. But if you were to increase it to 2 tickets a week, because supporters can do that, they can change their level of support to you, to your good cause. That might be another little tip and trick there that you can utilize there.
That's really really helpful. Thanks. I have just popped in the chat the email address and phone number, so if anyone does have supporters who need the support, it's on the website as well, but those are the people to contact. So
yeah.
Okay. Has anyone else got any questions for Joe? Can't see any hands up. Okay, all right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there, and everyone can get a couple of minutes back in their day that they might not have expected. Thank you again, Joe, for coming and talking to us about the dashboard. And thanks, folks, for signing up and becoming one of our good causes. I will email out the link of this video so you can pass it on to colleagues, should they want to watch it back and learn how to use the dashboard themselves as well.
Thanks. It was really helpful.
Thanks very much. Thanks.
I hope so.
Good.
Yeah.
Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to get in contact. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.